depth and the height, and to know the love of the Messiah, which passes knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of Elohim. Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Unto him be glory in the assembly by Yahshua Messiah throughout all ages, world without end. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And like the scriptures that I want you to give me the word, he said that you may be strengthened in the inner man. I want to talk about that for a moment, because as we go through this, you're going to need some strength to sustain yourself, both physically, psychologically, as well as spiritually. In which we exist on three things. Everybody, you exist on both a physical plane by the pattern. Physical, there's psychological and emotional, and spiritual. Now you exist on all three of these planes. You know, two of these planes are acknowledged. The third plane is, very few people understand it. But there are laws govern all three of these planes. And it's a lack of knowledge. Someone give me Luke 11:54, with a great master, his world calls him Jesus Christ, or his correct Hebrew name was Yahshua at the time. He was born, they called it. Said, woe unto you priests or lawyers, ye have taken away the key of knowledge. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. They have taken away the key of knowledge. And so what do you mean by that? If you turn over to vitamin D, now I have Joe talk about this. I won't be able to get it out through this. It says the Institute reports that vitamin D is wrong. And they're telling you that you only need 600 IUs of vitamin D. And the absurdity of that, they know if you went out and stood in the summertime, and stood buck naked in the sun, like the natives down in the Amazon, you get well over 100,000 IU. So something's wrong. So who you gonna believe? The Creator himself who made this tabernacle or temple, or some governing body, FDA, which is usually the arm for the what? Pharmaceutical industry. They're there to protect the monopoly. They're not there to protect your health. They're there to protect the monopoly of the pharmaceutical company. Just like the money that we got in our pocket, they say it's money, but that's Federal Reserve what? No, it's not backed by anything. It's totally worthless. The only thing that sustains that piece of paper is your FAITH, faith, and trust that you can work for that, take it down to the store and get some bacon, or you can give it and for your car payments and taxes. Other than that, it has no intrinsic value of its own. And that's the problem that we have today. The people have a total lack of knowledge, and that's both from a physical standpoint, psychological, as well as spiritual. The people are not being taught, and they're not being prepared for what's coming in the season that even though the signs are plain for those that see. Now, so what's happening here is that you give me Ephesians 3:7, and the one that said that he may be strengthened in the inner man. See, I found that Dr. Henry C. Keller, he's charged for vision that he had in 1931. And what it reveals is that God operates by a pattern. And it's this lack of a pattern that has got man deceived and in trouble in governing his affairs daily. Now, it's quite obviously that this body that you dwell in, that is wonderfully made, and it's not by a cosmic accident. Just, in other words, there had to be some divine intelligence to make this thing, because the way it operates, it's unerring, operates in the detail that it takes. There's so many disciplines, just the specialists, just to understand blood specialist, heart specialist, brain specialist. You can go on and on, just to understand the complexity of this thing, and to keep it operating. Things and knowledge that in previous ages of dispensation they didn't know. But now it's being made known. But as it's being made known, it's being corrupted by the powers of evil for money. That's basically what it is. And their agenda. So did you give me those scriptures?
Yeah, to.
Right.
Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge.
Okay, the key of knowledge has been taken away. In other words, to do anything, it's quite obviously that this body itself, the physical body, it had to be made, and you may not be able to see the maker, but you know one thing, it takes some divine knowledge to make things. And then, you know, the problem with this is simply this. You go to school, your academic world, they don't believe that there's a creator. They think it's a cosmic accident. It just happened or evolved. And you know that you never seen a Ford or building just evolve. It took some intelligence to put it together. And you didn't see the architect, or you didn't see the plan, but we know that just any fool could put this thing together.
That's right.
But just like this, it took a divine power, much greater than man's intellect. And who they call God, his correct name is Yahweh. And Yahweh, what spirit is intelligent wisdom, it's pure intelligence. In other words, before you even had a physical creation or an angelic creation, the source and substance that which all things emanated was from intelligence. That's not hard to be understood because you know in order before we even had a building, the guy had to conceive it in the mind, he had to have some intelligence to build this thing. The computer, all this technology that we see was existed within a man's mind, and it took the knowledge came first. The knowledge and the wisdom. So intelligent wisdom, knowledge, that's what Yahweh is. Love, beauty, justice, foundation, power, and strength. This is what he is. This is what constitutes or makes up what spirit is. Like, you know, I didn't say, and this is all the spirit that there is. It's manifested throughout the creation, throughout this bird kingdom, animal kingdom, etc. You know, if you had to be a beaver, and if you had to build a dam, how could you be? You know, you got to go to MIT, have some type of what engineering degree to build a dam. They expect for it to hold, but a beaver can build a dam. He ain't went to no school nowhere. Shit, you know what I'm saying? That's the law of the spirit that governs it. It's coming down Lakeshore Drive. We saw these birds just fly in formation. They went on a circle, an elliptic. They went to a heart. All of that was instant. They didn't have no radar. No. Right. They didn't have no satellite. What is causing them to operate? And if you had 4 planes like that, or what they call it, the Blue Angels out here, right. They couldn't fly in formation like that. No. And see, and they're searching for what wisdom that there is. And that wisdom that the birds have, Yahweh put it there. The Creator himself created and placed it in them. It's innate within them. Right. So I'm saying, so you can see then that the source and substance of this whole creation, see, manifests the wisdom, intelligence, love, beauty, foundation, because the source and substance of the parent substance is manifested throughout the creation, just like you look like your mother and father through the source of the DNA. And that code, that's all the instructions that's laid down in that DNA. Somebody had to come up with the code. You know, a code just don't exist somewhere. See what I'm saying? So you see that there's a source and there's a substance. So there's a deliberate way of someone trying to deceive us from our inheritance and from the power that we have as a result of acknowledging the Creator. And that's an adversary. And that's what we'll talk about a little bit about that later. So that's what you have here. Okay, and that's Satan or Lucifer, who is an angel to overthrow, he seeks to overthrow, enslave, kill, and murder. So the system that you have, if it's enslaving, if it's murdering, or if it's impoverishment, you should know that that's an evil system. See, if it's a system whereby that's empowering you with wealth of knowledge, wealth of etc., then that should be made manifest. Now, of all this wisdom that we have out here, just from a scientific standpoint, how can these people be acting so crazy out here? How can you have 2 teenagers, 17 years old, one kills 2 people, a police, and then another one kills a woman and the 2 daughters. You can see that something's wrong. And where did this come from? And see, and we'll talk about that, and that's what the scripture we'll talk about. I want you to give me those 2 scriptures. And John, one of the apostles of the Messiah, was shown Revelation. He said that Mystery Babylon's wine had drove the people what?
Mad.
Mad. They had been driven literally mad. See, and as a result of that, that's it. So we're going to do this real quick. Penny, get me the. Why don't we play that video? The madness of this society. It's an 18 chapter. The people have been driven mad by the 17 chapter.
Following them.
So somebody get me those. First of all, give me those 2 scriptures. in Ephesians 3:7. Now see, there's a mystery that's been hid from ages, but now it's being revealed. See, there's a lot of things that have been hid from us deliberately, whereby we can be controlled, but now it's being
You're watching the madness.
That's been made manifest. But it's only to the sons. But I'm telling you this, people, like I say this, let me say this. Before this thing is over, you won't need no Bible, no Quran, or no Bhagavad Gita. That's the Bible of the Hindus. To understand what evil is. You're going to see it. It's going to be right in your face. You understand that.
You're going to see it and feel it.
Anybody task you to go down to the airport, they pat you and searching you down. I mean, wait a minute. Where's the freedom that we once had?
Ain't got no more.
It's been eroded, and we'll talk about this in just a moment as we roll through. So you got the mystery of iniquity and the mystery of righteousness. And you have to discern which are the mysteries. Most people cannot observe. And somebody says, I don't see nothing wrong with going through an X-ray machine. that's somebody that's stupid.
And dumb.
Anything about ionization of physics and radiation, this body is 90% water. And when radiation passes through this any type of water, it changes the molecular what? Structure. And your DNA. So what the hell are you talking about? 6 or 7 years later, you got what?
Cancer.
You got cancer. Or liver failure, so you wonder what the hell's going on? Why would the government do something like this? We'll talk about this. Okay, give me those scriptures. Finish those.
Did you want the scripture about the inner man?
Yeah, but the inner man there.
Okay, that's 3:16 in Ephesians. That he would grant you according to the riches of his glory.
Okay, the riches of his glory. Now, what is he going to give you? Not gold and silver, what you need. That we do need to divide from man, but what you need in addition to that, or before that, is what? Read.
That he would grant you the riches according to his glory, to be strengthened, which might be his spirit in the inner man.
Read.
That the Messiah may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye be rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and the length and the depth and the height, and to know the love of the Messiah.
Okay, you want to know the love and the mysteries that he has revealed. That's his love, revealing you the mysteries such that you can be able to stand and knowing that all this stuff was divinely ordered and goes by pattern. Okay, give me, is that 17 and what you call? 17 where it says that the nations are being driven mad by the wine of mystery Babylon. And Babylon is a system of laws or actually should I say a system of brainwashing that have driven these people mad. And that's irregardless whether you black, white, blue, or green. No, it says in 17 chapter, it says, and the wine of mystery Babylon. It should be 17 and 1 and 3 or 8 of Revelation. Okay, and while she's getting that, I'm going to read that first so you can watch this video and you're going to see what it is to be driven mad.
It's 2. Okay, Revelation 17, I'm going to start at 1. And there came one of the 7 angels who had 7 bowls and talked with me, saying unto me, Come here, I will show thee the judgment of the great harlot that sitteth upon many waters.
Now here we have a picture on this chart here, Dr. Killen's Daniel chart here. See, here's the whore that sits on many waters. Now this whore is a system. See, it's a system of things. A system, it controls the what? Economics, it controls the education, it controls the what?
The whole world.
The whole 9 yards, your whole, the man's whole spirit, it controls. It shapes and forms our minds. So it says, read on.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Have been made drunk. Now we're going to see what that means. You reading that, that's all symbolic and all that, but what does it mean? Well, let us look at this video this guy did.
Of a lost society. November 26, 2010, Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
Can't you hear the leaders of China and Russia?
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order. This is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal?
No.
Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion in economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who, by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance, are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare? When they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like. And this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
No.
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
No.
Who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic. Thanks for watching The Madness of a Lost Society.
Now, not manifesting, people are doing so crazy. And they ain't took no crack, and they ain't drunk no liquor. So that goes to show forth the power of Satan, of the mass mind control. See, it's just like the guy said, they don't know what the Federal Reserve is. And what are they going to do when the guy says, when their money, when you get hyperinflation, the money don't buy anything, they're going to ride and burn.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? And we told you that most of us are be out the cities. Y'all already got a place prepared for us. You want to be able to stay here. Because the folks, they don't understand what is being done, and there's no need to ride it. What you need to do is come together and figure out how we're going to get out of this mess.
How to survive.
You see what I'm saying? But that's not, but that's very
Yeah.
emotional.
Is that YouTube?
Yeah, that's YouTube.
That was YouTube. Okay, we're going to play one more. That's it, and that's a hell of a state to be in when you go
Following
around.
is a fictional story of events that may happen in the near future.
Let's talk about the death of the dollar.
8 a.m. New York Stock Exchange. It's a cold, breezy day on Wall Street as markets await the Federal Reserve's announcement for QE4. Futures are up significantly. The Dow Jones just breached its 2008 high of 14,164. Gold just at an all-time high of 2,900. Silver just reached $100 per ounce. The dollar index is holding
Stop it right there.
53.
Now, we told you $4.
unemployment
We told you $4 now. People still gonna wait for the 50. Now I tell you, when people hit 50, I told you already before. When silver hits 50, all the people got gold gonna do what with it?
Sell it.
They're gonna sell it and buy silver. Silver is the biggest investment that you ever had in your lifetime. It'll go from it's already went from 4 to what? 30. And I'll tell you this, that's nothing. I'm telling you right now, it's going to go north of $500 an ounce. So you can imagine what a loaf of bread is going to be.
$20.
That's it. You just will not believe that a great country, a great nation like this can fall. And John said, Babylon is falling. And Yahweh, I said, Yahweh, you're going to do a quick kill. He said, no, I'm going to do a quick kill. Somebody come up and he's going to blow your brains out. You out of here. Somebody do it slow and methodical. And that way it does what to you? Torture. That's torture.
Pray for death.
You pray for death. And Revelation said, death what? Flee. So you won't be able to escape through death. So you can see then that you will actually lose your mind as this thing collapses. And the folks who just have no hope for the masses that do not have Yahshua where? In them. And we're not talking about the sanctified mess either. We're talking about an inner spirit that will lead and guide you and instruct you on what to do in this chaos. Okay, now we'll continue on here.
16.3%. There's a nervous feeling on Wall Street that if this doesn't work, the world could implode into a depression that will last for the remainder of the decade. 8:19 a.m. Beijing. Chinese officials announced that they can no longer allow Washington to devalue their holdings. After making their concerns private, China accepts that Washington will never stop paying its debts with inflated currency. China makes an official statement from Beijing, quote, "We have made our concerns known privately for some time. With QE4 about to be announced today, China will have no choice but to stop purchasing U.S. treasuries. We have allowed Washington to try to work through their imbalances for 4 years. But with global inflation and U.S. consumers rapidly shrinking as a percentage of global GDP, we feel that a Western recovery is unlikely until they reform their entitlement programs." 8:45 a.m. New York Stock Exchange. Upon hearing the statement from China, Dow futures have a sharp reversal and begin to drop. Gold leaps past $3,000 per ounce, up $150 per ounce in the last 26 minutes. CNBC awaits a statement from the White House. 8:50 a.m. Washington, D.C. The president makes an official statement to calm investors' fears. He tells Americans that he has spoken with several G20 leaders. They have assured him that they will continue to increase their purchase of treasuries and believe that a strong U.S. economy is the only thing that will bring back global prosperity. He has also spoken to Chairman Bernanke, who assures him that a strong dollar will be the result of QE4. The president also reminds Americans that his recent New Deal recovery programs that he passed through executive order will increase the likelihood of a lasting recovery. He also notes that Beijing, since 2009, has slowly been reducing their holdings, so the impact will be minimal. 9:51 a.m. New York. Dow futures fall 850 points in the first 20 minutes of trading. Markets are halted for 1 hour by the authorities. 10 a.m. Main Street, America. The news about the stock market in China has now spread. A panic begins to set in, and unprepared Americans rush to the grocery store. In an attempt to purchase.
You get caught in this stuff, your mind just
Snap.
It snaps. You know, in Navy, when the bells go off, it's in general quarters, and you be deep, it's deep in your bag, you jump up. Like I said, Penny wake up, she wakes up. Days. When I get up, I'm up. Because I'm in the military, you jump up. You ain't in no days, you better be on your damn post. Because if you don't want to get in trouble, general quarters, everybody get mad at their post. But these people here, this is total panic. They have not been prepared for this, and it's total what?
Chaos.
This is total chaos. And the Illuminati says, the 33-degree Illuminati, what is their motto?
Chaos.
Order out of, that means what? Order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. This is chaos that's coming, that's occurring, and there will be an order for them. They won't like it, but okay, go ahead.
Food and water. Americans that didn't know what was going on are alerted by all of the news stories and panic buying. Within 50 minutes, there is a nationwide rush to the stores. Empty store shelves in America become a reality. 10:52 a.m. New York. Markets reopen and the Dow Jones resumes its collapse. Investors around the world join the sell-off in bonds and stocks and begin to purchase commodities. Unlike the panic of 2008, this time commodities are seen as the only safe haven from the dollar crisis. 11:30 a.m. New York. The Dow falls 1,700 points since reopening. Trading is halted for at least 2 hours. The Federal Reserve injects $200 billion into the markets and announces that QE4 will be delayed until further notice. Congress is called back to D.C. for an emergency joint session. Some members of Congress are saying that they consider China's statement a financial attack. 12 p.m. Main Street, America. Several cities begin to see civil unrest after grocery stores are forced to close. Traffic in the streets and violence break out. The president puts the National Guard on alert for a possible deployment onto U.S. streets if things don't get under control soon. Several news agencies are reporting injuries at grocery chains and call for the authorities to do something before it gets worse. 12:15 p.m. Toronto, Canada. George Soros tells CNBC that a run on treasuries is imminent and that there's nothing the government can do to stop it. He says it is unfortunate that a controlled decline of the dollar was not coordinated better over the years. Today really could have been avoided if not for the Tea Party politicians who demand fiscal responsibility and a constitutional government. 3 p.m. Gold closes at $11.53 for the day at $4,053 per ounce. Silver closes at $173 per ounce.